Tom, on a similar theme, Gary Neville has just made you the football ombudsman. What are the first three things that you sort out? Wow. So, yeah, we'll do that. So, the first thing we'll do is that owners have to put 6 months of running costs in. And if they break the regulations, they're out and they don't get their bond back. And the club is run for 6 months by an administrator. And, they find a new owner who's going to take better care of it. So, we'll do that. The second thing that we're going to do is we've got to sort out the TV distribution. But no, that's actually going to be the third thing we do, because there's no possible chance of sorting that out whilst we have a Premier League and an EFL. So what I'm going to do is either I'm going to merge the two and we just have one entity running it. We can still call it the Premier League and the EFL or whatever, but I don't know. Maybe the FA could do this. But what should we call our entity? The English Football Ombudsman or whatever has jurisdiction over Premier League and EFL, because the problem we have, or the biggest problem we have in terms of English football, I know you can talk about the Champions League then thereafter, is you've got the whole turkeys voting for Christmas thing, where the interests of the team that finishes 17th in the Premier League compared to the team that finishes first in the EFL are completely at odds. Maybe that's not a good example because that team's got promoted and they're the right side of the fence once they've got up. But yeah, we have this ridiculous situation where the Premier League just essentially wants to keep all of the money for itself. And look, I always say when I have to answer these questions, I totally understand that Arsenal and Man United and whoever, Liverpool, probably the three massive giants of English football for just decades and decades on end, with giant worldwide fan bases who can draw 70,000 people or whatever it is to their stadium each week. Of course, you know, they're going to get a bigger slice of the pie. Fine. But what we can't have is, and it was an English football question, but Champions League, chasm. Premier League, chasm. Parachute, chasm. EFL, rest of the EFL, chasm. We can't have the chasms. And if you had one body overseeing all of it, or if it was just the English Football League, no, because there's the problem. The Premier League, it would have to be Premier League 2, EFL, and just some, because the brand of the Premier League, you could never change the name now, couldn't you? But I think you could fool people by saying Premier League 2, EFL. Still 4 divisions and 92 clubs or what have you, but under one, kind of overseeing organisation, because then you can sort of start to say, well, there also are teams in the EFL. So, people oversimplify it to parachute payments, and of course the chasms are ridiculous. But if you remove parachute payments, that's the only thing you do. Okay, now there's no chasm in the EFL, but you have just opened up Pandora's box there, because whereas the parachute teams, it's a 2x lift up to the EFL and then a 5x drop down, all of a sudden now for everybody it's 10x. And if you think there's a chasm now and you've got the 17, you may as well just stop promotion and relegation then, because it would just surely become impossible if you've got PSR. So yeah, so I'm on my second thing, aren't I? I'm going to have one overarching organisation that, is in charge of the whole of the 92, which would then surely, by definition, get a fairer distribution. And can we get a sliding scale? For example, it's really simple. If team 1 in the pyramid gets 92 million, can we then go 91, 90, 89, 80, all the way down? Can we go all the way down? And then the team at the bottom, okay, they get 1 92nd of the team at the top, but they're 4 divisions apart. It's not this ridiculous thing at the moment where you have Sunderland got £7 million TV money last season. Leeds are a year 2. Who's a year 1 parachute team? Burnley, what is it, like 55%? They've probably got 50 million or something. And then who was 17th? Was it Spurs? Got 100 million. And in the pyramid, they're 17th, 22nd. And where was Sunderland? They finished 4th, so that make them 24th. So 17th, 100 million. And Spurs as well. My God, what commercials do they get? I know that's their business and whatnot, but just in terms of the distribution of TV monies, which is the biggest problem. And again, I don't have a problem. If Spurs have built themselves a gigantic stadium and they can draw tens and tens of thousands of people and make tens of millions, good luck to them. Spend that money. That works for me. I mean, some people do argue that PSR then ring fences that, but we do have to pay some credit to the fact that Spurs have built that up over, decades and decades. And is it then fair that, I don't know, whichever Elon Musk buys MK Dons, can he just then make them level with Spurs just like that? Because he's got trillions and zillions and wagillions of pounds or whatever. I don't know. So there you go. So number 1 is we'll do the owners thing there. Number 2 is we'll have an overarching organisation there that is going to ensure a fairer distribution. It feels like I've done about 5 things at once here. And that we don't have the 2. That's the biggest problem. Premier League, EFL, 2 separate entities. That is just a massive thing. And then what else should we do? Should we change PSR? Or would PSR work better if the distribution was clearer? Would PSR then work if we didn't have the chasms? I don't know. You tell me. Should we go on to VAR? I don't know. Don't want to wind people up about VAR. No. We're going to keep VAR and we're going to keep working on it. And we're going to make it better. I want to throw in some law thing. Come on, what law thing grinds my gear? Okay, we're going to stop time wasting. That's going to be the 3rd thing I do. We are going to have a real-time stopwatch. We're going to have 40-minute halves. We're going to have a timekeeper. And time wasting is going to end. Okay, so every time the ball goes out of play or the ref blows his whistle, the timekeeper stops the clock and we will play 80 minutes of in-game football. And the clock will be visible to everybody and there'll be no more time wasting. It won't be up for debate. I know fans will still cry if their team loses in the last second and they'll try and find the second from somewhere, but you're never going to stop fans crying about stuff. This will be as part of my 3rd, this is my referee and law changes. I'm sure there'll be another 20 people want to do. But yeah, shirt pulling. So shirt pulling would immediately be a yellow card and a foul wherever it's spotted. And so any shirt pull at any point, I don't know how you'd do it, but retrospectively, no, it's too difficult because you can try and find it. But I just want to stop all this rubbish at corners every time where people are just pulling the shirts and wrestling every time. So I don't know, maybe just for set plays you could do it where there's like a zone of the game. So from the set play until the ball goes dead, they'll have someone really checking on shirt pulling. And yeah, just a foul. First person who pulls a shirt, foul. Whistle it, set play stops, new free kick there and away you go. Have I fixed football? Have I done it in 3 steps? Bear in mind, I'm reading these questions off the cuff. So what am I doing? I'm doing owners, 6 months running costs. I'm doing get rid of Premier League and EFL, 1 entity which would ensure a fairer distribution. And then my law changes were real-time stop clock and something to do with shirt pulling. That will light the comments up. Get your 3 ways. You're the football ombudsman. 3 things that you are going to sort out.